Om Apyayantu mamangani Vākprānaśchakṣuśrotram Atho balamindriyani ca sarvāni Sarvam brahma upanishadam Maham brahma nirakuryam Mama brahma nirakarot Anirakaranamastu anirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha Te mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In this 31st class on Chāndogya Upanishad, we will have Sanat-kumāra opening yet another avenue to understanding, appreciating, adoring this entire creation. It's easy to say everything is Maya and make a case for rising above it. But it is extremely difficult to really develop the necessary vairagya. Talking is easy, but walking the talk is extremely difficult. One way that we may appreciate all these discussions is whatever Sanat-kumāra is saying is asking us not to just talk, but develop deep understanding and then, if necessary, talk. In Kali Yuga, it is said, people will talk high stuff while their actual life is nowhere near that. Kali Yuga is marked by tremendous hypocrisy everywhere. People say one thing but do quite another. Sanat-kumāra is asking us not to be hypocritical, but through true inquiry, through true exploration, truly looking out and evaluating the universe properly, we will come to vairagya in a healthy manner. Otherwise, it is smashana vairagya. All of you know what is smashana vairagya. Somebody died and people went to the cremation ground, and if not all, some people looking at the dead body getting burnt get a strong sense of, oh, this is what life is all about. Ultimately, I too will be just burnt away like this. I too will be turned to ash. Oh, why should I go after it? Why should I have any desire? One thinks. That's called smashana. After an hour or so, this man, this lady comes home, and within a short while, completely forgets the person who had died, the cremation that had taken place, and anything and everything. All the attachments, all the desires, all the heartburn come back with added force as though. Interestingly, among the 15 factors that Sanat-kumāra advises Nārada to do upasana of. Look at each of them, Sanat-kumāra says, as Brahma. At a given point of time, one must take only one. One at a time. A very learned Swamiji of Ramakrishna Mission was once asked, tell us one last time whether we should go for Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. And that Swamiji answered it very carefully. He said, look, both are most wonderful, but we never say do both of the yogas at the same time, at the same moment, in the same sitting. And that will not be possible. Then there will be neither bhakti nor jnana. In bhakti, God is the master. You are his servant. You are an instrument in his hands. And there are a number of beautiful, healthy sentiments that go with that bhakti. So to embrace those sentiments, to go into that state of mind is one thing, and to go into the state of mind that supports jnana is quite another. In jnana, there is the understanding everything is one. Nobody is boss, nobody is servant, nobody is far, nobody is near, no one is dying, no one is born. So that appreciation of nirvikara, nirakara vastu is jnana. At a given point of time, one cannot take both. One cannot carry both. Therefore, being true to oneself, at a given point of time, one must take jnana or bhakti. You look at your wardrobe, there are sweaters and shawls and mufflers and caps of different kinds. You say these are very nice clothes, you take care of them. You also see in your wardrobe, there are bunions, there are light clothes, there are t-shirts. They are also nice. In winter, you wear warm clothes. I am this evening at Bangalore. Leave alone the late evening as it is now at this point of time. It's 8:45 p.m. Even afternoon 3:30 p.m., I felt a bit cold in the room given to me at this beautiful campus of the Valley School, Krishnamurti Foundation, India. During the middle of the day, it was cold, right? So when it is cold, you may wear warm clothes. You don't do that during a warm day. Likewise, you must understand what is naturally rising in you. Devotional sentiments are rising in you. Go for devotional sadhanas. Then, thanks to the play of gunas, thanks to God's will, you will arrive at certain outlooks where, with no disregard to bhakti, it so happens that you are very much enjoying the Upanishadic statements, the revelations of the Vedanta, where Brahma cannot be known through senses or the mind, but it is Brahma which makes the senses know, which makes the mind know, which makes the eyes see. It is Brahma which makes the ears hear. This is all Jnana Yoga's samagri. That is the material. When you find yourself naturally inclined to that kind of contemplation, go with that contemplation. Don't do jnana and bhakti together. You cannot. So coming back here to this upasana portion is asking us to inquire, to examine, and in a natural way, not superficial, in a very swabhavika manner, you need to see for yourselves how, whether it is, as we saw recently, dhyanam, vijnanam, balam, annam, we saw these factors, how each of them actually is so powerful. They mean a lot to life on the earth. Let's come to the last factor we saw last Friday, annam. It is right food, it is healthy food that can give to any of us the necessary strength of several kinds. Balam. And with that balam, one can have right understanding of scriptures. And with that, one can meditate. So every factor mentioned later acts as a cause for the factor or factors mentioned earlier. Anna is the cause of balam. Balam is the cause of vijnanam, and so on. In that strain, let's now take what is the topic of this class, apaha. Therefore, let's go to the title slide where apaha, that is water, is praised and we are asked to adore water. Apaha is, from a grammar point of view, a very unique and interesting word. Apaha, not synonyms of what? Apaha. Apaha means water. Jala is synonym. Udaka is a synonym. Now what I am saying now, or what I am going to say now, does not apply to Jala, Udaka and Ambu, etc. Ambaha, no. Only to the word apaha. And apaha already is a declined form of the original, which is up. The original word is up. Up becomes apaha. And that is already a plural word. Just as in English, you don't say, get me a scissor. Get me the scissors, plural. Somebody wore his shorts. Shorts. There is no word short in that context, in the context of the dress. Scissor, no, scissors. Just as the words like shorts, scissors are always in plural in English, here this apaha is always in plural, not singular, not dual. So somebody were to ask, what is the singular of apaha? There is no singular form of the word apaha. Number one. Number two, up is the original word. So the declension has only one column, the plural column. First case is apaha, second case is apaha. Apaha. And then it goes. Abbihi, abhyaha, adbyaha, adbihi, adbihi, adbyaha, and so on. Yes, it becomes adbyaha. Adhyas Sambhutaha. In Purusha Sukta, in the additional portion, it begins like that. So let's not take a look at all the forms. So the seventh case is apsu, apsu, in water. I had to say this because this slide itself uses the word up, the nominative of which is apaha. The selected two words use the accusative form dvitiya vibhakti, apaha upasva. And because of visarga sandhi rule, that visarga drops, they don't join further, the sentence becomes apa upasva. So to do some sandhya vandana, no. When you take some water in hand or when you touch water, you say apa upasprishya. Apaha upasprishya, touching water or bringing water on your palm. The title slide has this apaha upasva by Sandhi apa upasva, and we take the liberty to translate it in this way. Know the importance of water. Rise through respect for water. One of you may say, what kind of translation is this? Where are components that stand for know or importance or respect? Yes, the idea of upasana includes all this. When you do Shiva upasana with a Shiva linga in front of you, you actually attach importance to that Shiva linga. You know the importance of that piece of stone which you regard as Shiva linga. Maybe it is a superimposition. Your mind superimposes. Doesn't matter. The national flag is looked at with certain regard for the country. When a certain king challenged Vivekananda, asking, why do you worship a picture, worship a stone, worship a symbol? Vivekananda spontaneously said to that king, pointing to the king's father's picture on the wall. The father was no more. Vivekananda said to the king, let me ask you to do something. Spit on this picture. And the king said, how can I spit on my father's picture? Vivekananda said, it is only a picture. It is not your father. It's only a painting. It's only a drawing. It's only a piece of paper framed and put upon the wall. Don't worry, that's not your father. Go ahead, spit. Then the king understood. With folded hands, he said to Vivekananda, I do understand the place of symbols. With my father's picture, he is like my father himself. Therefore, a Shivalinga, a Shalagrama, a Murti of some God form is like God himself. So knowing the importance and developing, not through some brainwashing, developing through right understanding. The respect for water is all implied in the word upasva. Let's now go to the second slide, where there are only two mantras in this 10th section of 7th chapter. The first of the two mantras is given. Apo vava annad bhūyaha. Nārada had asked at the end of the previous section, after deeply appreciating the value of food, annam brahmeti upasya. Narada said, is there something even greater than Anna? Yes, Apo Vava Anna Bhuya. In Shankara's commentary, right at the beginning of the portion connected to this mantra, Shankara says, Apo Vava Anna Bhuyasya. He makes Bhuyaha into Bhuyasya. A little grammar. What, what makes him say is Apaha is Strilinga. The word Apaha is feminine and plural, whereas Bhuyaha is neuter and singular. So Annam in a previous section, Annam Balat Bhuyaha was perfect because Annam is singular and neuter. Bhuyaha is singular and neuter. But Apaha, if you are using the word Apaha, not Jalam, with Jalam Bhuyaha would have been perfect. But if you are using the word Apaha, it is plural and it is feminine. And the feminine form of the adjective bhuyas is bhuyasi, bhuyasyau, bhuyasyah, nadi, nadyau, nadyah, kumari, kumaryau, kumaryah, bhuyasi, bhuyasyau, bhuyasyah. Then what do we do with this mantra where it is bhuya? Such places we say it is Arshtakta Yoga. It is the Rishi's license. Like Shakespeare could write in Julius Caesar. This is the most unkindest cut of all. Double superlatives, grammatically wrong. But Shakespeare had poetic license. Coming back, we don't change the Upanishad mantra, but in our understanding, we take Bhuya as Bhuyasya. Apo Vava Annad Bhuyasya. Jalam Vava Annad Bhuyaha. There is no masculine word to my knowledge representing water. If there were to be, then we put that word and say Annad Bhuyan. Bhuyan is masculine. Rest of the mantra is pretty simple in its direct meaning. We will spend a couple of minutes elaborating or looking at the possibility of extended meanings. Otherwise, tasmad yada suvrishtihi na bhavati. Enough water in the form of rains do not come. Let's say one particular year. Vyadhiyante prana. Not here, but a couple of lines down. Adi Shankara puts praninaha as the meaning of prana by context. Prana, vital airs, but here it stands for praninaha, all living beings, including us, human beings, vyadhiyante, become miserable, become as though they are sick, as though they are unwell. Why? Once there is very less rain, annam kaniyaha bhavishyati. This season, this year, if this is the kind of rains we have, so less really, then annam kaniyaha. Food will be so less, and a lot of us will have to starve. In contrast, yat atayada suvrishtir bhavati. There is very good rain, heavy rains. Then anandinaha pranaha bhavanti. Again, take it as praninaha. Living beings are very happy. They rejoice at a lot of rains coming down. Annam bahu bhavishyati. That is what is said by illustration. And what does it mean then? It is because of good amount of water being available that people, birds, fish, animals, plants, all of them are in good shape. There is a word here in the Sanskrit line. Apa eva imaha murtaha. Murta means shape or form. Amurta means formless, shapeless. So when you say ye ime or imaha, apaha being feminine, imaha. So, or murtaha is taken as feminine. Okay, what are those when you use the pronoun these things? What are these things? Ya, iyam, prathivi, the earth, yadantariksham. One of the Tippanakaras, not Sachidanandendra Saraswati, someone else who has deep faith in the Vedas, Vedic rituals, and so on, goes to the extent of saying that at a certain point of time, there was no earth, no interspace, no heaven, but whoever, maybe just a few handful of divine beings there were, those divine beings did some yajna. In that yajna, they offered ghee, curd, yogurt, etc., which are semi-liquid. They offered in the yajna. And with the right Veda mantras, those offerings being put into fire created such energy that the earth was created, the interspace was created, the heaven was created. So, especially ghee and curd, which are liquid or semi-liquid, they are connected to these forms coming up. So, before forms become visible, water, which doesn't have its own form, water takes the form of the container. We have learnt in elementary physics or science. Put water in a spherical vessel, water takes that spherical form. Put it in a cylindrical vessel, you have a cylindrical column of water. Right? That way, murta, whatever is seen with some form, it is all apa. Yadyau, heaven. Yat parvata, all the hills and mountains. Deva manushya, gods and human beings. Pashavascha vayansicha. Vayagumsicha in some versions, or simply vayansicha. Animals and birds. Trinavasat vanaspataya. Many kinds of plants and trees. Shwapadan, dogs, other creatures. Kita, patanga, pipilakam. Various insects, various butterflies, various kinds of ants that crawl. So these words are representative. Apaha eva imaha murtaha. Apaha upasva. Here we shall spend 2 minutes on what could be a larger implication of this. I would like to say just 2 points. One is water is what makes life sustained. On this earth, for example, if water were to get polluted, which it is getting polluted. If water were not to be available, life itself will come to an end. Water, therefore, in natural way, in certain places, people have to filter, people have to distill and get clear water. I believe Israel has developed some technology by which at affordable cost and with all economic viability, the seawater can be converted into drinkable sweet water. The seawater is salty. There are numerous industries, numerous human enterprises, numerous activities, even people who plant trees, who ensure that the environment is protected in various ways. They contribute to generation of water. They contribute to saving water. Today, as you know, lot of people have the awareness. If they are building concrete structures, then they think about rainwater harvesting. Rainwater should not fall and just dissipate. Preferably, all the rains that fall on your, let's say, 3 acres of land should be in that 3 acres only, in the ground below. Rainwater harvesting, RWH, has been a very important topic for decades now. So, in countless ways, technically sophisticated or technically simple, doesn't matter. Water is protected, water is preserved, water is made available to the people, let's say. And rivers are protected. Rivers are prevented from going extinct. So in modern times, they talk about the dangers that environment is facing. They say glaciers are melting away. Then water level in the seas, in the oceans may rise. Many parts of different continents might get submerged. So anybody who works towards preventing such a scenario, climate protection, environmental protection, caring for the environment, they are doing abhupasana. What is abhupasana? Something to do with Mount Abu? Oh no, there is no Mount Abu here. Up plus upasana by sandhi becomes abhupasana. That is adoration of God. So look around and see how singly or collectively on this earth people are ensuring availability of water. The second point I want to make a mention is, that is in view of a possible doubt in the minds of some of you. Well, it started with the manaha, something internal to us, sankalpaha, nama, vak, chittam, dhyanam. Everything was some faculty of ours, some hidden potential within us to be tapped, to be strengthened, to be nurtured, etc. Now suddenly we are talking about water in the glaciers, water somewhere on the North Pole or South Pole, water in the Antarctic or what you call Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. We have gone out. We are no more looking at something within us, you may say. There I have a point to make. The Upanishads sometimes deliberately, not by mistake, deliberately change gear rather than saying something adhyatmika, which is internal, they may go adi bhautika or adi devika. So if we talk about water is these animals, water is these plants, water is these birds, water is these worms and creatures, water is the mountains, water has become the heaven, the earth, etc. Then what the Upanishads are implying, the so-called outer and the so-called inner are not separate. The inner is in the outer is in the inner. Yade veha tadamutra, yadamutra tadanviha is a statement in the Upanishad. Thus, realize not just things that are internal to you, everything in the creation has to be respected. We should not shut our eyes to things and believe that we have brought Vairagya. Open your eyes, see things as they are. See beautiful things, see dirty things, see grand things, see deplorable or despicable things. See everything and see them for what they are worth. In other words, the mind should go through some ripening. The ripe mind, having seen the value of things, drops them at the right time. Then there is no question of picking them up again. In this way, water, whether referred to in an outer context or referred to in an internal context, either way is worthy of adoration. Let us not neglect or insult water. So upasana means that. Look at water as Brahma. Now in the next slide, the last slide really, we have the second and last mantra of this 10th khanda of 7th chapter, Chāndogya Upanishad. Sayaha apaha brahma iti upaste. Whoever adores water as though water itself is Brahma, then apnoti sarvan kama. That lady, that gentleman, that boy, that girl attains, gets all her desires fulfilled. Triptiman bhavati or triptimati bhavati. She becomes most content. Yavadapam gatam tatrasya yatha kamacharo. As we pointed out through a couple of examples, water is a all-pervasive resource. In all the continents, wherever life is sustained, there is water. And when one does something which promotes water, one has a red carpet welcome. That is what is meant by yatha kamacharaho. Tatrasya yatha kamacharaho. You know the secret of water. You know the secret of water preservation. You know the secret of water purification, let us say. Then anywhere in the world you will have value. People will know. If not all, somebody will say, hey, look at her. She has this great knowledge about water. Let us take her on board. Let us make her our person. So, in the corporate world, in many other domains also, even in the spiritual world, in the business world. So, this is extraordinary skill. It's not to be underestimated. One who grows with increased adoration of water becomes worship worthy. And with that, the mantra's main teaching is over. Nārada, as usual, asks, is there something superior to water? Adbhyaha. Apaha in fifth case becomes adbhyaha. Adbhyaha. Then sixth case will be apam. Yopam pushpam veda apam. And seventh is apsu. So adbhyaha. Adbhyaha has the sense of than. Is there something more important, more valuable than water? Sanat-kumāra says, yes, adbhyaha vava bhūyaha asti iti tanme bhagavan bravitu. So out of 15, we have seen 10 factors. Let me see now if I can make one or two comments from the Shankara Bhashya. One or two I already mentioned also. That is, though the Upanishad mantra says Apo Vava Anna Bhuyaha, putting it in modern grammar, we will have to say Apo Vava Anna Bhuyasya. That's what Shankara Bhashya says. Apo Vava Anna Bhuyasya. Bhuyasya, like Nadyaha, is the plural of Bhuyasi, of Nadi. Shankara says, Anna Karanatva. If you value food, for adequate food, for good amount of food to be available on this earth, there has to be water, rains. Pranaha is explained as Praninaha. And in simple language, Shankara, for example, says, Kaman apnoti, second mantra. He says, Kaman here means Kamyan. The word Kama should not be misunderstood as desire, but things that are desired, things that are desirable. Kamyan murtimata vishaya ityartha. Apsambhavatvacha truptehe abhupasanat traptimanscha bhavati. Abhupasana, that word comes in Bhashya. Abhupasana is adoration of water. Up plus upasana, abhupasana. In the 6th chapter, we had seen some mantras where the expression came Tejo Banna. You wonder what is Tejo Banna? Tejaha, up, and Annam. That becomes Sandhi, Tejo Banna. Yes, these are some of the simple comments by Adi Shankaracharya. Now, before concluding, I should say that in this list, among 15, 4 are actually 4 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. We have 5. Panchabhuta. Of them, Akasha, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi are made part of this list. Vayu is not made a part of this list. We wonder why Vayu is also not made a factor, because Vayu is Sarvavyapi. Vayu is so essential for us to be alive, up and kicking. So one possibility is Vayu is Upalakshita. By mentioning Akasha, Agni, Jala and Prithvi, Vayu is Upalakshita. Or in the present context, Vayu might not be as relevant as the other 4. The second meaning is less likely. The Vayu is very relevant. We take food, we get energy. We take water, we are alive. We breathe in air, therefore we are alive. With a lot of water served to you, with a lot of food placed before you, suppose the room has no oxygen. You are in a spacious room, but there is no oxygen. God. Therefore, I would imagine Vayuhu, Anilaha is Upalakshita. This would be thought of. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo Namah Paramarashibhya.